want to discuss with you. The topic we are going to discuss today is how to make better decisions and avoid regret. Can you elaborate the topic?
Absolutely. Making better decisions, avoiding regret is such a valuable topic. We can explore strategies like gathering sufficient information, weighing pros and cons, considering long-term consequences, and listening to our intuition. We can also talk about techniques for reflecting on past decisions, learning from mistakes, and building confidence in our decision-making process. Let me know if there are any specific angles you'd like to dive into.
Okay, the first one is the what does it means to make a good decision and why is decision making so challenging?
Great questions. Making a good decision generally means choosing an option well with your goals, values, and the information available, and that leads to positive outcomes in the long run. It involves a careful balance of logic, intuition, and sometimes even emotional intelligence. Decision making is so essential because it shapes our lives, impacts our future, and influences our well-being. Good decisions can lead to growth, success, and fulfillment, while poor decisions might lead to regret, missed opportunities, or it's also a skill that can be honed over time, and it's deeply connected to our ability to navigate life effectively.
Okay, what do people often feel a regret after making a decision? Can you elaborate in detail with a 5 minute conversation with some practical examples, some experiences, some normal examples, some uh, daily life examples? Can you please elaborate in detail?
Of course, regret often comes from a few common sources. One major reason is when people feel they didn't have enough information at the time of the decision. For example, someone might regret quitting a job without fully exploring other opportunities, leading to a period of uncertainty. Another source of regret is when decisions are driven by emotions rather than logic. For instance, someone might impulsively make a purchase and later regret it when they realize it wasn't necessary. Sometimes regret arises from not considering the long-term consequences. A common example is choosing to prioritize short-term gains over long-term benefits, like taking on debt for immediate gratification and then regretting it later. In daily life, we often see regret in small decisions too. For instance, someone might regret not spending more time with loved ones because they were too focused on work, or they might regret not taking a chance on a new opportunity because of fear. On the flip side, reflecting on these experiences and learning from them is crucial. It helps refine future decision making and reduces the likelihood of regret. It's all part of growing and becoming more adept at making choices.
Okay, what factors influence our decisions, emotions, logic, habits, or external pressures? Can you please elaborate?
Absolutely. Our decisions are shaped by a combination of factors. Emotions play a huge role. For example, fear, excitement, or anxiety can influence how we weigh our options. Logic, on the other hand, involves analyzing data, weighing pros and cons, and making decisions based on rational thought. Habits also play a big part. Our routines and past behaviors can influence the choices we make without us even realizing it. External pressures like societal expectations, peer influence, or cultural norms can also significantly impact our decisions. In addition, cognitive biases, past experiences, and even the environment we're in can all contribute. For instance, someone might make a decision differently when they're stressed compared to when they're calm. Ultimately, understanding the balance and interplay of these factors can lead to more informed and mindful decision making.
Okay. Identify whether they are making decisions out of fear or confidence.
One way to tell is by examining the underlying motivation behind the decision. When fear drives a choice, it often comes with feelings of anxiety, doubt, or a strong desire to avoid something negative. In contrast, decisions made from confidence typically come from a place of clarity, empowerment, and a focus on positive outcomes. Another indicator is the level of anxiety or stress you feel. Fear-based decisions often come with a sense of urgency and discomfort, while competent decisions feel more grounded and calm. Also, reflection can help. After making a decision, you can look back and ask yourself whether you felt more motivated by a desire to protect yourself or by a genuine sense of opportunity and growth. In the end, it's about being mindful and honest with yourself, and over time, you get better at distinguishing between the two.
ChatGPT, I can't understand the meaning. Can you please again elaborate the same, which in easy words? The last one is I can't understand. Please elaborate. If you do.
Of course, I'm happy to simplify it. Essentially, to figure out if you're making a decision out of fear or confidence, you can look at how you feel. If you're feeling anxious, worried, or like you're trying to avoid something negative, that's usually fear. On the other hand, if you feel calm, clear, and positive about the possibilities, then that's usually confidence. All on why you're making the decision can help. If the decision is about avoiding something you don't want, that's fear. If it's about pursuing something that excites you or aligns with your goals, that's confidence. In short, it's all about paying attention to your feelings and motivations to see where your decision's coming from.
Okay, what are common decision-making mistakes people should avoid?
There are definitely a few common pitfalls to watch out for. One big mistake is decision making based on emotion alone without considering logic or long-term consequences. Another frequent error is overthinking or analysis paralysis, where we get stuck in the details and never actually make a decision. Another common mistake is ignoring intuition, where we rely purely on data and neglect our gut, which can sometimes provide valuable insight. Also, making decisions in haste without enough time to reflect can lead to regret later on. Finally, letting external influences overly sway your choices, like peer pressure or societal expectations, can lead you away from what's truly best for you. Being aware of these common pitfalls can help you make more balanced and thoughtful decisions.
Okay, what practical framework in methods can help someone make better choices? Please elaborate.
There's absolutely one popular framework is the DECIDE model, which stands for define the problem, explore the alternatives, consider the consequences, identify your values, decide and take action, and evaluate the results. Another helpful method is the OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act, which helps you continuously adapt and refine your decisions based on information. The SMART criteria, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, can also be used to set clear goals and evaluate options effectively. Additionally, pros and cons lists are a simple yet powerful tool for weighing different options. Finally, cost-benefit analysis helps you compare the potential benefits and costs of each option to make a more informed choice. Using these frameworks can bring clarity and structure to your decision-making process.
Okay. How can someone separate short-term feelings from long-term benefits while deciding?
That's a great question. One effective approach is to practice mindfulness and take a step back before making a decision, pausing and reflecting on what you're feeling in the moment versus what you ultimately want to achieve in the long run. Another helpful technique is to clearly define your long-term goals and values before making a decision. When you really matters to you in the long run, it's easier to see past short-term decisions or fears. You can also try writing down the immediate benefits and the long-term benefits of each option and comparing them side by side. This helps you visualize the trade-offs and make a more balanced choice. Finally, seeking input from trusted friends, mentors, or even taking a break before deciding can help you gain perspective and avoid making choices based solely on short-term emotions. Combining these methods can help you stay focused on what truly matters in the long run.
Okay, this is a very fruitful conversation from your side, ChatGPT. I have a lot of knowledge after this conversation. Thank you so very much for your this knowledge. Next, see you in the next topic. Till then, goodbye.
I'm so glad you found it helpful. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Feel free to reach out anytime, and I look forward to our next conversation.